Good evening. I'd like to call to order the City of Hasslett's Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Today's date is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024, and the time is 6:31 p.m. We do have a quorum present this evening. Several items of community interest. First, there's a kids fire camp that's going to be occurring on June 8th, and that's for ages 8 to 15, and you can look for advanced registration opportunities by going to the City of Hasslett's Fire Department website. And then there are continuing opportunities for employment in the City of Haslett. You can find opportunities in the parks and ground maintenance workers positions. There's crew leader positions, water maintenance workers positions, and there's also a public work administrative assistant position. Again, you can go to the City of Haslett's employment opportunities section of our website to find out more information about that. Moving on, agenda item number 4 is our consent agenda. We have our meeting minutes from our April 30th regular meeting to review and approve. Any discussion on the meeting minutes?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Motion made and second. All in favor? Motion passes. Moving on, agenda item 5. We have several items for reports and updates. We all have the exhibit in our packet from the residential project statuses. If there's any questions, we can ask those now, but the exhibit pretty well speaks for itself on the progress. And then moving on to agenda item 5B, we have a presentation of infrastructure development activities that are occurring in the City of Haslett. And are you presenting that, Mr. Halsey? And is there anything to speak to on this document? Are you going to speak to this document or? Okay.
Planning and zoning role in the city. It's important to see what current activity is in the city. May I presume? May I proceed? Please. Very good. Well, thank you, Chairman Kadesh, board members. This is a map of our city. Didn't need to tell you that, but the tan area is all incorporated. The gray areas are extraterritorial jurisdiction. And what I want to show you, these are projects at different phases occurring simultaneously here in the Haslett area. This represents approximately, $20.4 million worth of projects. Majority of it is from the certificates of obligation. And I will go through this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This is high level, but I want to just bring this to your attention. Let's start with FM 156, our only north-south corridor. Going back 2 years ago, well, maybe a little more, there was town hall meetings. We had petitions signed. Those were presented to TxDOT. And to affect any of that, and submitting different projects or desires that the city has with regard to these changes, a speed study had to be conducted. That was conducted. It took almost a year to get that in a final document. And from that, there were three very specific requests made. And some of them are requests. One is request. Two are just very much notification to TxDOT. Here's what's going to happen. Speed limits. Of course, you know our current speed limit is 45 miles an hour on the north end of Haslett, all the way through Haslett to Blue Mound Road, and 55 miles an hour south of that. The speed study was able to support, and according to TxDOT criteria, these speed limit changes. keeping it 45 miles an hour to the north, and just to the north of town here is to reduce that to 35 miles per hour throughout town to Blue Mound Road. And from Blue Mound Road to 45 miles an hour to Bonds Ranch Road. We could not make statement to change it to 45 going south of 287. That is City of Fort Worth jurisdiction. This has been submitted formally to TxDOT. In this, the requirement is that the speed limit change be submitted to TxDOT along with the speed zoning study for their review and approval. This one item requires their approval.
Mr. Mayor, do we have a sense of what the timing is for their approval?
They have given no timing. I have inquired. It's probably been in their hands for almost 2 months. I have inquired about the status of it. I am supposed to get a status on these items. We actually have 4 items in front of TxDOT by the end of the week. We have an accredited school, K through 12, on 156, and that is the Heritage Christian Academy. There is no school zone for that school. This speed zoning study, yes, does support the implementation of a reduced the school zone area of 20 miles per hour. And that would extend 200 feet to the north of that property and 200 feet to the south of that property. That has been submitted and in TxDOT hands for over a month and a half. I will say that with regard to the speed zoning study or the request, the criteria was submit to TxDOT for their review and comment. I note that very specifically. It doesn't require their approval. Also, no trucks on a portion of FM 156. In red, you will see these are existing truck routes, freight corridors designated by TxDOT. Also, 156 through town, which is primarily residential. The speed zoning study recommended no trucks on this green route. Again, we cannot show anything beyond our city limits. So it starts at Bonds Ranch Road and goes through up to Westport Parkway. An interesting aspect about the no truck route, the requirement was just to submit this to TxDOT for review. That's all it states. TxDOT does not have the authority to put no truck routes up here. Only the municipality does, according to the Transportation Code and TxDOT manuals. That has been in TxDOT hands for a little over a month and a half. This is in front of TxDOT and has been maybe close to 3 months. Is that the city submitted to TxDOT, and this is primarily for the subdivisions on FM 156, where we have we want to put signage fore and aft at each entry onto 156, as well as on the roadway, is paint this hatching. Says, do not block this intersection. And we're specifically talking about this painted section, because I know that some people will get a little subjective of what area it is. TxDOT, at least our area engineer, thought this was a good idea. So we're hoping feedback on that soon. FM 156 is undergoing repair and a resurfacing, not widening, just resurfacing. What we desired, I expressed to TxDOT last week, we desire to go ahead and put up the signage. Then when they finish with the resurfacing, I'm hoping sometime in summer. After that, we would paint the markings on the roadway. Now, all of this project will be funded by the city of Haslett. Okay, you're talking about the bridge north of that. He's talking about Avondale Haslett Road and 156. Yes, sir, and we have no choices. No, they will not close the entire intersection. One way or the other. TxDOT is not the best. TxDOT is not the best communicator in the world. So then you understand. We stay after them constantly. What are you doing? I would like to inquire more about that very specifically. Why is Avondale Haslett Road and FM 156 going to be closed, or whatever that term means? And how does it play in real time with that bridge on the north? We'll take care of it offline, and then we can report back later and actually put something on the website that's going to affect citizens and commuters. Good. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Wallet. All right, that concludes FM 156. Street project. Let's talk about briefly Haslett Parkway. Haslett Parkway, you know that project. Currently, the concrete is poured approximately about where my pointer is at. It stops on the west side of the school. This project has suffered delays, significant delays, and primarily, all due to utility relocation. The whole project was put together years ago that will move the utilities out of the way, and you're pouring concrete right behind us. Well, I'm not a road man, but I got enough engineering construction background. You don't do that on any kind of discipline. So it has turned into a problem. The program is being We're in the planning phase of how do we move forward, and also addressing the grant that was received from federal highway authorities. And I say we, that is City of Haslett, TxDOT, and North Central Texas Council of Governments, Michael Morris and his office. All primarily, whether it's communications, utilities. We've got no less than 7 folks out there, whether it be electrical, fiber, and various companies associated with that. And everyone is dependent on each other to move their utilities. And Encore being the last ones who have the poles that everybody is on. Some of it's in the ground, most of it's on the poles, but Encore cannot move anything until everybody is off.
So what's the negative?
The negative impact to it is that it is a year and a half past the federal grant finished mark date. At this point right now. We know that we are a year and a half behind schedule. And the consequence of that, and Federal Highway Authority, the Dallas office has been working with North Central, or TxDOT and North Central Texas Council of Governments, coming up with an alternative plan and somewhat refining or the terms of that grant in a way that we will not suffer any penalty due to it. So that is in process. There's no final yet, but they are open and working with us. Schedules don't mean anything to them, Paul. Yes, they had a schedule. They had a schedule, Paul. Oh, no, they're a year and a half behind.
So if anybody that we're doing that, do they have a lot of
I'm not going to speak to that. I think that here in North Texas, there is a tremendous amount of work. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm just acknowledging fact. Everybody has a tremendous amount of work, and there aren't enough people to hire. That is the primary problem. People are too busy, especially when you look at road work and infrastructure throughout North Texas. Every city is going through a expansion and transition of some sort. Now, do I particularly care about the other cities? That answer is no. I care about one city and addressing the issues here at this one. That's correct. That's correct. So, yes, there were schedules. It was well planned, but I'm going to say at the very beginning, 6 years ago, whenever that occurred, it was ill-conceived. Ill-conceived. It was not a good plan that it had too many points of failure. So anyway, we are addressing it, and here soon, again, I'll have to take this to the city council, but I'll brief planning and zoning on it as well. Yes. Yes. Let's go to water projects. Here are the current water projects. They're at various stages. All of these projects, all of it is engineering. Many of these are the documents, design documents, are being wrapped up and will go to bid. Starting on the south end, this was our very first meter station, water for Fort Worth Water, that was made more than 20 years ago. Same time we built our first water tower over on Harmon Road. So this needs some upgrade, and the prices you see there are the scheduled amount. Most significant of all these projects is the pump station on FM 156. It needs improvements. In fact, it's more than improvements. I mean, it's being expanded tremendously, and new big pumps put in, control systems, and also ground storage. And that is to carry all that new load for all our new subdivisions. It's not being partially funded by anybody. Laterra. That was on different topics. It's not this. Now, monies from these developments are being used, impact fees and things of that nature. Well, the bulk of the money is from the city of Haslett, Preston, that are underwriting these costs. Yes, the ground storage tanks like we have now. Yes, sir. Our elevated storage tank on Harmon Road needs rehabilitation. I don't think it's had any rehab work since it's been built, has it? Nothing. So it needs to be taken down offline, repainted, inside clean and treated, and bring it back online. It's 1 million gallons, or two. So Harmon Road's 1 million gallon. Avondale Hassett Road is 500,000. We have 2 pressure planes in the city of Haslett, and those we're trying to make the pressure planes equal, or just trying to have better control over the pressure planes? So that work the documents are in there, the final stage for that. This is another, I think, one of 3 meter stations that we have. Do we have a total of 3 meter stations with Fort Worth? Yeah. And this one needs improvement. This is up on Westport Parkway. Sanitary sewer. We have what motivated a lot of the sanitary sewer work, aside from our new subdivision that have come in. Right here on the west side of Haslett, about where my hand is, circling that area, is a 300-acre site in the city of Fort Worth, and is known as LaPrelle. This will be the LaPrelle development, and there is approximately 1,000 homes going on that 300-acre site. The sanitary sewer line is via Trinity River Authority. All of us are, Fort Worth and all this other cities. But that line, the route of that line, essentially follows the track or FM 156 to a great degree, and that has to be significantly upgraded. So there's a large project going along that will be coming along here in the very near future to support this new development at no cost to Haslett, Texas. That'll be independent. But we are taking opportunity, because of our increase in population, there are certain aspects, such as this portion of the line, that does need to be upgraded. This piece total is 4.2. Our portion of the upsize that we're will be participating in is 1.5 million. We have a TRA meter station that will be installed here. That's a new install, is that correct? And the meter station sewer line replacement needs to be upgraded. And I think, there we go. Here's the new meter station area. That pretty well constitutes all our sanitary sewer Oh, no, we have one more. I need to tell you about this. We have the fire department expansion going on, which is 4,800 square feet, which I'll show you here shortly. But we needed a sanitary sewer line. We had two routes that we could take. Yes, there is a sanitary sewer line on the west side of FM 56 that runs the length of it. That was an option. Or come back here on the east side of Maxwell and route this line through here. Ultimately, this was the route that was chosen. What this does do, I'll show you this. The blue line shows the service area. What you're looking at is approximately 540 acres of service area that this one line will provide. Now, this does open up to all of Maxwell the capability to connect to this sewer line. Yes, there would be discussions about annexation should they want to do that. But also Brentwood, the front properties of Brentwood along 156 are tied into the line along 156. But a majority of Brentwood is on anaerobic or septic. Here is Blue Mound Road. Now we have these properties, more than 8 acres over here. That would be residential that have no particular access to a sewer line. This line would open up all of this area. And also, if you'll note, is this part of Hugh White. Every home in Hugh White's on septic or anaerobic. And so the analysis was done as to service area and cost. On the west side, that line would service approximately 320 acres at a cost of about $1.4 million. This line opens up 540 acres at a cost of $1.8 million. Now, this cost will be recouped over time through impact fees as new users connect to it. An important aspect to it is, one, it provides, our fire station's on an anaerobic system now, but this expansion was just more load than our anaerobic system can reliably handle. The primary motivation for the line, but also, if you'll note, this is our ball fields. This now opens up this area to put in a permanent restroom facility in our ball field, which has been called for a long time, but there was no feasible way to do that. Now there is. That new restroom facility will be in our new budget coming up in October.
Could I ask a quick question?
Yes, sir.
You indicated that that project be funded through impact fees, but primarily the residents in those areas are currently served by their anaerobic systems. Are they going to be required to convert and connect?
No,
So,
no,
There-
if they connect, then they'll pay an impact fee.
Yeah.
This is funded out of the, this particular project is
it-
being funded from our certificates of obligation.
okay.
And, excuse me, let me double check that.
Is that through other impact fees that that are associated with other projects?
Say that again.
Is that from impact fees that we've collected on other projects? Is that part of that part of the funding for that
A
company?
minor part of it.
Okay.
A minor part. We use the impact fees where we can. There's not a, yes, we do have a good sum in impact fees, and they are used throughout these projects, but they do not cover the total at all. On the front end of things, such as this new line, the city fronts the cost of it. New users come in, they pay their impact. Then that money is recouped. So the front end of it's funded through either the certificates of obligation, which are underwritten by ad valorem, or it comes out of the general fund. Facilities, buildings, we have a couple of them here. Let's talk about the fire station expansion. Here's our fire station, and you see the red arrows. That's the new building that's going to be constructed. Architectural plans are probably about close to 90% right now, and once we're happy with those, then they'll be going out to bid. This is, again, 4,800 square feet. We're budgeted for $3.2 million for this project. I do want to mention in this project, one of the things that we're doing, and bear with me here, I want to go to a page in this plan set. Here we are. This is the floor plan of the expansion. It's primarily administrative offices, new training room. The existing office space, eventually in the next budget, we'll see some work to expand our sleeping quarters to accommodate our new firemen. We have hired 3, 6, 9. In less than 2 years, we have hired 9 additional firemen. We are a fully certified, full-time fire department, which we have a mutual aid agreement in place with the city of Fort Worth. Doesn't cost us anything. But the benefits are great, and that I'll tell you that up to 3 years ago, there was plans out there to build 2 new fire departments in the city of Haskell. Well, you're talking about $20 million. And then probably another couple of $1 million a year in wages. What we chose to do was, let's become a full-time fire department. Let's execute a mutual aid agreement with Fort Worth. And overnight, we gained 4 fire departments. We have one on each corner of the city, and then ours in the middle. And it's just worked out excellent. So, the fire and emergency medical response, first responder, is solved for Haslett from now on. No other action needs to occur. That was, I tell you, Chief Davis, Fort Worth Fire Department, and the council people that I work with over there, and Mayor Matty Parker. They're good working partners, put it that way. This area right here, that's highlighted in yellow. Of course, we contract out our policing, Tarrant County Sheriff's Office. There are many, many benefits for doing that we do not have to bear the cost of. But nonetheless, making this a more attractive city, the people don't realize in that hiring aspect is that deputies within Tarrant County Sheriff's Office, they get to bid on where they want to work. And early on, I said, we need to make Haslett as attractive as possible. And we know that many the deputies live in and out around here. And that when they go on shift, they drive to Lake Worth. They pick up their vehicle. They have roll call. Then they drive to Haslett. End of their shift, they drive back and get their vehicle and drive home. Well, we make it attractive as possible. All right, this is approximately 500 square feet, but in here they will have each one, which is people don't think much about it, but every one of them will have a full-size locker. That is a premium for these folks. But each one will have a full-size locker. Also, they'll have their own shower facilities, restroom facilities. Yes, they get in the mud and everything. They need a place to clean up. Over here is office space that they will have to come in. Many times you might be see them up by the water tanks or on the side of the road, their heads down. What are they doing? Oftentimes they're filling out their paperwork. They have a lot of it to do. Nonetheless, this will be dedicated to the folks and also what we'll be putting in is a large screen TV, just, bigger than that, but sound bar and to do online roll call meeting. Let's take advantage of that technology. Yes, I've been selling that idea to Bill Wayborn, and Tim Kane is their chief deputy, and others. And are we fully there? It will be when we get this thing built. Nonetheless, I just wanted to point that out. But this would be a great thing, a big deal for City of Haslett Fire Department and Tarrant County Sheriff's, giving them a dedicated facility. All right then, let's see. Let me try to drive this thing back now. Let's go here. That's not what I want. Yes, I'm driving. I have my beginner's license, okay? All right, James, what am I doing wrong? All right, Mr. Thackett, what's going on around here? All right, we have a technical difficulty. Oh, here we go. Okay. Activity map. All right. Well, see, this is what I need to get out of. Here we go. Okay, we're back on the road again. Right here. Public Works Facilities. This is current budget that we have now. That those monies are in the general, funded from the general fund. They're currently in our budget. Public Works Facilities is long overdue for improvement and expansion. in their actual facilities. You know, the last 2 years, we bought a lot of new equipment. We need housing for that equipment, large buildings. There, I think 3 of them, there's 4,000 square foot apiece to park these, get them out of the elements. Also, again, another building, 4,000 square foot. These are like an open front. They're roof, 3 sides, open front, for put our materials so they're not diluted over time, being out in the elements and rain, etc. And then another building is 4,000 square feet. We'll have, that will be a warehouse, enclosed warehouse, and probably 400 square feet of conditioned space. That will be for, we're thinking, well, and will be storage for our library materials that they cycle in and out. That way we can eliminate paying storage fees in a lot of places. And in that same area, of course, if you all don't know, but Public Works is along Schoolhouse Road. You know where Epry is? It's just south of the Epry property. There's a road. But this will be a good segue into this. Recently, it's the other part of the presentation. Put in an appropriations request to our Congresswoman Kay Granger, 12th District, U.S. Congressional District. Every year, each congressperson is able to submit for appropriations from their districts. I submitted this one. Thanks to the help, council let us retain a law firm that specializes in nothing but grants and appropriations. Along with that, they give us guidance. They don't write it. We have to write it. But they give us guidance, but also they are our lobbyists, both locally and in D.C. And this turned out well. So ended up requesting $2.3 million for this project. What you see, this red line area, represents approximately 7.5 acres. On there would be a pavilion, 6,000 square foot pavilion, very much the same size as this one over here in the park. It won't be 20 foot tall though. We don't need that kind of height. Permanent restroom facilities. This would be a classroom, teaching area, approximately 3,000 square feet. This represents 8,000 square feet of raised bed area and irrigated for teaching garden. And then the backside, we can expand out to an acre of gardening area. And that would include, you know, whether it's vegetables or horticulture, etc. This program that I wrote and put together and presented to the Congresswoman would be guided by Texas A&M AgriLife Extension agents, and they're very excited about it. Nonetheless, that's that program. I'll have a few other items to show you with regard to this. And I am looking for my I'm missing my controls. Oh, here we are. Praise God for little things. There, I found it. All right then. We have a couple of praying projects. They're reflected here. This project here, this is at the terminus of Blue Mound Road East. It's at the intersection of Blue Mound Road and Harmon Road. This is approximately 20 acres. Is that correct, Morse? 38. Okay. Well, there will be two somewhat developments going on here, but all the same owner. A very prominent Metroplex entity. Everybody will know their name once it's rebuilt, which might be in about 2 months. But nonetheless, we are excited to have them coming. They're in their final designs and actually going for their preliminary plats and things here soon. Is that correct? All right. Then it will be public as to whom they are, and you'll see that soon. This one here you recently saw. It had to do with did they not see it? Planning and zoning is changing the plan development for child care. Yes. This one is Quick Trip. They are feverishly working on that, but it also includes the expansion of Harmon Road and some intersection work up here, signalization. But we're all excited for these folks to come in. There's always a lot of interest on this property out here, as well as other parts of Haslett. This is a big attention getter. It's a gateway right into Haslett. We want to be as judicious as possible what goes here. Well, 99% of the people in Haslett, Texas would tar and feather you and me if we suggested warehouses. I got that message a long time ago. We have enough, and we do. About a third of our city probably is under warehousing. And we are in the most prominent logistics part of the world, literally, by this unique setup of Alliance Airport in Burlington, Northern Santa Fe, and all the world-class companies up in the Alliance area that do nothing but research on logistics. We have to recognize that where we are, and so therefore, what does that mean? The world knows our address, and we can be purposeful in what we approve. All right, then. A couple of, here's site we have. This is in fact, what's the name of those folks? That's public already. They're building that now. It's well under construction. And I don't think I have any more on there, but there will be more coming. And this is a little tool. I got to give credit to James Tucker, Public Works Director, and David Rogers. They put this little, call it an activity map. It changes. You know, some of these will go away when they're done, and new ones will be put on. But it's a tool to show, here's everything happening at one time. You see every one of these in over time. But as some, to envision that they're all happening at the same time is go, wow, how about that? A little bit different view. All right.
So with a lot of this project work going on, is there any work being done to review our standards of development on any of these things? Yeah, I'll use paving as an example. Paving in our city, there's so many examples where paving has been done and it's a washboard result. The road, like look at Westport Parkway. When they got done paving that, the warehouse people developed that. That's terrible paving. You look at what they did in Ashmore Farm, Ashmore Farms, our neighborhood. If anybody walks that, you can't walk on an even surface because the road is so ripply and it's so rough. So is there anything being done to make sure our paving standards and other standards are at a level that represents what this city and the residents would want?
Yes, that's always,
I
we're
mean-
constantly doing work.
I mean, I would ask, has anybody from the city walked and got out of their vehicle and walked the roads in Ashmore Farms? Because that paver, even the guys working the job said, this is the worst job we've ever done.
They said that?
They said that to my wife, yeah.
You need some.
So I don't want to make this about Ashmore Farms. Do we have the right standards written into our requirements when we put work out to bid so we get good results?
So I will say specifically to the Ashmore Farms, we do walk those jobs. So on any paving job or any utility job, myself, at least one other person from staff, engineering, they walk the job and make sure we got what was planned, and there's a punch list developed, and then they re-walk those items. So it is looked at, but as far as for general standards, each job is addressed differently. Ashmore Farms was meant to be a kind of retention of what's there, so they did paving repairs, curb repairs, and a slurry seal, which
That's the problem, is the slurry seal. See,
Well, so-
it is so rough and so uneven, and then there's big blobs of stuff along where they've left material on the side of the, like in front of people's driveways and stuff. It's just poor work. And so I asked, do we have
Do
the
you
right
know people that can take me and show me where this is?
You can come right over and walk the street in front of my house.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get out of your car because you're not going to see it if you're on your car. But God forbid any kid ever wipes his bike out on that street because they will lose a half inch of skin. I mean, it is so rough.
Well, we'll take this up with the contractor, and I want to make mention to that one of his workers, whoever that was, made a comment to one of our residents that this was the worst job they've ever done.
Yeah.
And get
and,
him.
And again, I don't want to make it about Ashmore Farms. But we've got a lot of work that's going to take place in our city.
Well, we do have good standards on, say, other road type work. The slurry seal, that's a one-off type kind of roadway. That's what Ashmore Farms was originally built as, and that's what it went back with, was the slurry seal. Now, they did go in prior to all that. They found some underground springs. They had to address that. They found where the base was giving way. They had to go dig that out, readdress the base in certain areas, and then come in and do the new slurry seal. There's nowhere else in the city of Haslett that uses slurry seal.
Well, and I'll use over here behind where we repaved everything in concrete over here. Is it Hugh White? Where all the Hugh White neighborhood roads were redone in concrete?
No, that was Haslett Park.
Haslett Park. Look at how much of that road has cracked, and the road.
That was bad engineering,
But again,
and that's why that person doesn't work with this city anymore.
But again, do we have the right standards, and are we really making sure that
We had the right standards. The engineer and the administration chose to deviate from our standards to go cheap, and that's what they got. We wasted millions of dollars. We're already planning. We're going to have to rebuild all of that.
Yeah.
No, that was done intentionally. The standards, we have good standards for good roadway.
Is Belchester City,
He is now, yes.
so are they they're involved?
Yes.
I mean,
Well, yes, we have all of that. Belchiff and Associates was not involved in Haslett Parkway. Yeah.
I'm just saying, in fact, city engineers all set a standard, got a problem with that.
I think probably the issue is with slurry seal in and of itself. But that's what we're talking about,
No,
is slurry seal. No, we have roadway,
I started with the flatness issue on West Park Parkway. I mean, that thing is the most uneven surface to drive down. I don't know if you drive, maybe if you drive in a really nice luxury
Westport
car.
Parkway, yes.
but getting
What
it-
I am not in favor of, and what we have done, you know, particularly along, say, I'll use Blue Mountain Road as an example. They're in front of Watercress. Well, we let the developer go in and build their piece of it. Okay, well, what you're going to end up with is a hodgepodge of piecework, just like Haslett Park or Westport Parkway. It's a hodgepodge of piecework. It's uneven. It has issues. Well, how do you not do something like that? Well, you can have, and what we have done is, instead of letting a developer build a piece, half a road in front of their property, you know what, you just put your money in escrow for what that will cost, and we're going to build it all at once. Once we get the money for the entire roadway, we'll build it all at once to eliminate that issue. That's what we're doing on Blue Mountain. Yes. Instead of each developer building a piece, we could have let each one of them build a piece, half that road at a time. But we decided, what, 2.5 years ago, no, we're not doing that anymore. It doesn't turn out well. You know, I remember then when that piece in front of Watercress was built, and I'm going, oh my God, what is this all about? Well, that's what it was about. Okay, very good. So let's move on. We got good standards. We have good engineering. The slurry seal, I'm going to follow up with that comment and with the contractor. We're going to run that to ground. And I need to go out and walk this
And
area.
I'd be happy to walk the neighborhood with anybody from the city staff that wants to come walk it. I'd be happy to do that.
Well, I want to walk it.
Okay.
I want to walk it. And I want to see it myself firsthand. And then, because any sincere conversation is going to happen, it'll be me and the contractor. And we'll, of course, I'll get staff involved as need be. But I need to see it myself.
Thank you, sir.
But I can start out in front of your home in
Yeah,
that area?
we can go right there after the meeting if you want to take a
Sure.
walk.
All right. Let me note it. Okay, Blue Mound Road. This will be the last one, and then I'm gonna move on. This will be on the November bond, or a November election, this coming November. And it'll be a bond that the city of Haslett residents will have to vote on. There'll be two pieces, or two bonds. Well, I'll say two choices. This will be Blue Mound, and this is mistitled. This should be Blue Mound Road West, and this is Blue Mound Road East. To be totally reconstructed and widened with a center turn lane. The approximate cost, of course, they're constantly working right now to refine the plans well enough to get a good price. We are in the neighborhood of $22 million right now. Approximately $15 to $16 million for Blue Mound Road East, the red line, and $5 to $6 million for Blue Mound Road West. It includes all of it. Yes, sir. So it includes everything. And but we're still working on that price. Material prices change, all of it. So as we get closer, It might be 24 million. It might be 18, but we're honing that price. So we know what to ask for. This will be a bond election, and it will be, okay, Hassett residents, you want to build Blue Mountain Road West? Or you want to build Blue Mountain Road East? Or do you want to build both of them? They will have to choose because this is supported by their ad valorem. And in the ballot, on the ballot, it will indicate how much each one of those will affect their taxes. So there'll be it'll be very transparent. Please go ahead. I'm going to take, do you understand the reasons behind one doing a bond versus city council doing a CO? The legislator let cities do certificates of obligation on things that you just can't tolerate someone voting down. Water and sewer. You have to have water and sewer. There's no discussion about it. Those type of things you can do a certificate of obligation on. Yes, you can tolerate potholes. So that's why you'll vote on it. Yes, they have it under, it's a bond, and this will be, theirs will be also 4-lane with a median divide. The west portion of our Blue Mountain Road will match theirs. It will be 4 lanes with a median, raised median with turning lanes, and theirs will be also. Blue Mountain Road East will be, what's going to be proposed is 4-lane center turn lane, open center turn lane, because there's so many access points on this road. Having medians would not work very well. Our raised medians would not work very well. Any other questions on Blue Mountain Road? Let me see. This is the last one. Keller Hassett Road Extension. We just had to close Keller Hassett Road down because a lot of floodway up there, and it washed out our road, and they had to do emergency repair. The road had to be shut down and do emergency repairs. But this project will, here it is. Keller Hassett Road, of course, it comes right down in front of our building here. And all of North Sendera travels this road. And all the Burlington Northern Santa Fe heavy equipment people travel this road. And every semi truck that wants to go up into Sendera or Burlington Northern Santa Fe does also. This road is a 1/4 mile, and we've been working on this, chasing this project for 2.5 years now. Now it's going to happen. The issue has always been right-of-way, and now that we are about a couple of months from resolving that whole issue, and money is in place. We have 50% of this project will be reimbursed by Tarrant County Transportation Bond 2021. The remaining of those funds are being provided by the city of Fort Worth for this project, as well as a developer out here. Significant, both Fort Worth and the developer putting a significant amount of money. Also, with this This intersection right here is going to be built in such a way that those folks traveling out of Fort Worth, out of Sendera, and Burlington Northern will not be able to take a right and travel down this road. Likewise, people that are coming along 156 and turn onto this road will not be able to to take a left and turn down and go south on this road. This is intentional, is to eliminate this traffic through here. No, effectively, I mean, you can still enter in here and travel north and south. Is that because there's property owners out here and I can't legally shut them off, though there's no one out there right now. This will be developed here in time, but this is industrial. Plans are already have been worked out. That when that happens, of course, this is all residential, half-acre lots, this area here. A roundabout will be built here when this goes to industrial, that with a Opticom gate system that will allow no one to pass through. It'll actually be gated. Now, fire response, the Opticom system lets emergency vehicles in. So we already got the design to, when this does develop, how we keep all that industrial traffic and the commuter traffic from, not that we don't like Sendera or Fort Worth residents or Burlington Northern and Santa Fe. I just don't want them traveling in front of, I mean, it's tearing our roads up. It is torn them up, and it's not a good thing. But they will so much more appreciate this thoroughfare. Lord have mercy. Everybody's excited about Fort Worth, Tarrant County. All of us are excited about it. So, construction starts in November on this road. Be about 4 months, and it'll be open. TxDOT's even participating. They're going to, this intersection right here, which is, here's UPS. Their entry into their facility is right here. It lines up with this road. This has to be fully signalized. TxDOT has agreed to provide and install all that signalization. Our project, the only thing we'll be doing is running power to the signal box. They'll take over the rest of it. But it'll be a great project. It'll be very impactful for this part of Tarrant County. All right, let me move on. I do want to, yeah, you want to pause for 5 minutes? Please. Thank you. You're absolutely right. And what will happen is so they're all coming down Hass or Westport Parkway from I-35. What they'll soon discover, if they make a right on intermodal, that'll take them up within a quarter of a mile where that new road will come out on 156. And they won't have to come through here anymore. But what that does for Old Town, that makes this so very special now. That virtually the only traffic in Old Town that will exist after that are the people that live here or people going to the park. And that's it. So this would be a really unique little, you'd be hard pressed to find an area like Old Town anywhere else in the Metroplex, just due to the setting, the older craftsman style type homes, farm store, library, a couple of little churches up there, and this neat little park that we got. Very special. Oh, absolutely not. You know, well, that's the dilemma. Oh, you want to call the meeting? Oh, I didn't notice. I'm sorry. But that's the dilemma. Who's gonna pay for it? Money does not precede developments. You know, and I've had, why don't the deputies just pull them over? Let's take Westport or Blue Mountain Road. Pull them over to where? There's nothing but a ditch. And then we've gone over, you know, we can stop it right there in the middle of the road, and they'll take us 20, 30 minutes to write a ticket. And then we're exposing ourselves to get run over. So it's a big issue on all these 2-lane roads. It's not that whether it's Fort Worth Police or Tarrant County Sheriff officers want to enforce traffic law. It's just, where do you do it? But it's growing pains. We're addressing it, and it's a slow process. Isn't it, Mr. Wallach?
Our meeting, the time now is 7:43 p.m., and we're going to continue with the discussion being led by Mayor Halsey.
Thank you. We're going to switch topics now, and I'm going to talk more about this request made to Congresswoman Kay Granger. And this is about a dedicated area off Schoolhouse Road. And it is for a farmers market pavilion and community teaching garden facilities. And I show you this map to make a point. As I was doing research, you see this triangle, I-35W, 114, and 287. That's that triangle area. That represents 54 square miles. There's not one farmer's market in that 54 square mile. Not one. Now and what's around us are their pop-up, tent type. There's nothing dedicated. And I got to, along with that was one input. Speaking with our librarian, I'm going to go back 2.5 years ago. We kind of keep tabs on what people are interested, what reading materials they have interest in the community. And I didn't approach her on it. She just made a comment to me. Is that, Gary, you just would not believe how many young people are interested in gardening, cooking, canning, and those type of activities. Okay, well, I use all these little inputs. Nonetheless, all of that together prompted the motivation to submit this appropriations request. One other thing, on a congressional level, this was just last year, maybe 10, 11 months ago. The Senate passed this resolution, and this was all about farmers markets. and recognizing the importance of farmers markets. And I'm just going to, if anyone of you want to read it in detail, just let me know. I'll be happy to send it to you. But it's increased since '94, 7% year over year. Farmers market has. And I just want to read this one part. Farmers markets serve as significant educational sites and as bridges between urban and rural. Guess what we're doing? We're making that transition right now. Contributing to a better public understanding of farming and ranching, whereas the adoption of more sustainable farming practices closely associated with farmer-to-consumer interactions facilitated by farmers markets. Farmers markets and direct marketing farmers help improve the health and wellness of low-income people in the United States. Whereas National Farmers Market Week is a time to recognize the unique and indispensable role of farmers markets play in supporting food access, bolstering local economies. I researched a lot of this, and that there's nothing untrue here. Promoting healthy communities and fostering sustainable farming. But even the Senate recognizes the need for these things. So I did, here is the, again, you saw this before, was the site plan that was included in the first, there are several rounds of materials that you submit, but this was the layout. This, again, this is off Schoolhouse Road. The red area is 7.5 acres, or 7, yes. Later on in the process, the director of Congresswoman's office for the district asked our lobbyist if I had renderings of this that I could send. And just so happened I had been working on 3D layout of this area. And I said, sure, give me another day and I'll send them to you. So this is what I sent. Here is very simple, but just describing what it is. 60 by 100 pavilion, 7 foot by 40 foot teaching gardens facility. It can house or hold 400 persons in a teaching mode, seat 100 folks, 110 parking spaces, and 8,000 square feet of raised garden area irrigated. This is a view. This is the pavilion and the classroom, raised bed areas. This is all concrete type drive around the whole facility. In the background, you will see those 3 buildings I spoke of for public work. Just another shot from the teaching garden side of it. Shot through the pavilion. And this is standing on the front porch of the teaching facility, looking out. The City Council and Economic Development Corporation Type A and B. We all signed this resolution. This resolution did go to Kay Granger. Again, it cited those things like this 54 square mile area. There are no public farmers markets or associated outreach and service offering. We want to fill that void and address food insecurity. Yes, there is food insecurity in our area. local agriculture, healthy living, nutrition and sustainable practices, education, economic development, community engagement. You know, one thing, we have a lot of new cultures that have moved into our area across all of North Texas, not just from other cities, not from just other states, but other parts of the world. You know, one thing that all those cultures have in common? Open air markets. Guess what a farmer's market pavilion is? It's an open air market, and every one of those cultures have one. And also, that one thing we all have in common is food. And I look at this is that neutral ground where all these different cultures can come and we can interact. And through food, you want to get to know somebody, there's a good starting topic. So I think it's a great project. Again here, engagement and cultural interaction for the residents of the city and the surrounding northern Tarrant County and southern Denton County region. We have pointed out goals that have been reflected over time in various documents that the city has produced, going back, 8, 9 years. And some of it comes from this comprehensive plan that we had. One of the goals was a built environment that is conducive to healthy living. Strategy, support the incorporation of community gardens into existing and new developments and parks. Provide or partner with public and private entities to provide activities and facilities that promote a connected and healthy community. And the bullet point under that is education, seminars, workshops, and other types of classes that promote lifelong learning for all ages. Gardening, cooking, healthing, eating, fitness. And so there's where I partnered up with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension people. Texas A&M is the extension agent for every county extension agent. And they were just very excited. So these people, they have programs for all of this to help guide us through all of this. That's very, and I got the support letters that went into this. And the only reason I mention these things, this is not a one-off that we've seen. There's a lot of people, a lot of different levels of government see the importance of a project like this. We got not only did Congresswoman Kay Granger choose our project to advance to Washington, D.C., and recommends full funding for it, is our state rep wrote a recommendation letter. Tarrant Regional Food Bank, their CEO, wrote a recommendation letter for this project. The director of the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Agent for Tarrant County wrote a recommendation letter. These are 2-page letters. Well as Commissioner Fickus, our Commissioner of Precinct 3, Tarrant County. And I said to Nate Schatzline, our state rep. I think there's, we had community support letters and this resolution. I was in San Antonio this weekend, or actually end of last week and this weekend, and I happened to run into Judge O'Hare, and I was telling him about this project. He goes, well, you didn't tell me. And I said, well, I'm telling you about it now, what's going on in the county. And he says, well, I'm going to write a support letter. That's a big deal. Farmers market and that community teaching garden. It is a big deal. State rep goes, that's a big deal. So anyway, I'm excited about it. We put together a good project. Say it again. This would be for, it'd be under urban. I go, well, you know, because we're kind of way past doing HUD type things. I mean, we used to take advantage of it a lot because we qualified for it years ago, but not anymore. But it's still under urban type programs. I'll say this: our firm that represented us on this is, of course, all the firms, you know, the attorneys meet. They had their staff meeting. Everybody compares, knows what's going on, and out of their firm, ours was the only non-infrastructure project that K. Granger selected. I'm very confident we're going to get it. Of course, it's not over till it's over. I expect that we will hear and we'll know before the month of August. Reason being, the Congressional Appropriation Committees, that's when they break to go to summer vacation. And they should have their work done by then. So I show you all this stuff is because your role in planning and zoning, I was reading I go back and read everybody's roles, these different boards and committees. You have a broad responsibility, and this is part of it. So that concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but this is it. I will keep you abreast of things as time moves on.
Thank you very much for the very in-depth review of things that are occurring and going to be occurring in the city of Haslett, Mr. Mayor. I appreciate you taking time to come out here and share with us. Were there any questions? Thank you, sir. Moving on, do we have anything that you need to make us aware of for our future agenda items that you can speak about at this time?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we will adjourn, and the time is 7:57 p.m. Thank you.
Good night.